Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jam Vishnu Pad Paramahangsa Parvakadevastadasi Samadhi Divine Grace Sri Lesa Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari Bo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Kanandana Salakaya Chakshurun Meditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavaneshwari Prishavana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Paritanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, as it is, translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Today's verse is chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 6. Please repeat. Abhyopi san avyatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim sva adhistaya sambhavami atmamayaya ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim swam adhistaya Sambhavami atmamayaya Ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim swam adhistaya Sambhavami atmamayaya. Okay.
Ajopi san avyayatma.
Ajopi san avyatma.
Bhutanam ishvaropi san.
Ram ishvaropi san.
Prakritim swamadhishtaya.
Prakritim swamadhisthaya.
Sambhavami atmamayaya.
Sambhavami atmamayaya. Ajopi san avyayatma. Bhutanam ishvaropi san. Prakritim swa adhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya Ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim swa adhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya Ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim Pagnaya
Sambhavami Atmaya
Ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim swam adhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya Ajopi san avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi san Prakritim swam adhisthaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So, very sweet verse today. So, word for word, please repeat. Ajaha, unborn, api, although, son, being so, avyaya, without deterioration, atma, body, bhutanam, of all those who are born, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, api, although, son, being so, prakritim, in the transcendental form, swam, of myself, adhisthaya, being so situated, sambhavami, I do incarnate, atmamayaya, by my transcendental energy. So, translation Srila Prabhupada. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Please repeat. Although I am unborn, and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Purport Srila Prabhupada. The Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many, many past births, whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He would surely have to dredge his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet men often dare to claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature as well as swarup, or one's own form. Prakriti means, the Lord said, is somebody speaking? Huh? Oh, okay. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in the present birth, but he has a different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body, but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form, with two hands holding a flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is the Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes his birth like an ordinary living entity. And although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of the Battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculations. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us, although he is the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising, moving before us, and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun is set. And when the sun is before our eyes, we think that the sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we calculate the appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are completely different from that of an ordinary common living entity, it is evident that he is eternal, blissful knowledge by his internal potency, and he is never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi-manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literatures also confirm that even though the Lord appears to be taking his birth, he is still without change of body. In the Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayan, with 4 hands and the decorations of 6 kinds of opulences. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy, bestowed upon the living entities so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is, and not on mental concoctions or imaginations, which the impersonalist wrongly thinks the Lord's forms to be. The word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy, according to the Vishoka Kosha dictionary. The Lord is conscious of all his previous appearances and disappearances, but a common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on this earth. Therefore the Lord is always the same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self, or between his quality and body. A question may now be raised as to why the Lord appears and disappears in this world. This is explained in the next verse. Yeah, I'll read that anyway. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So that's the purpose. So, Makam Korochi Vachalam Pangam Laite Yad Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Ajopi San Avyatma Bhutanam Ishvaropi San Perkatim Swa Adistaya Sambhavami Atma Maya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, And although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Yes, so transcendental knowledge. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is revealing himself. As we were saying last week, first one has to understand Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental to all material considerations, as the source of the creation, as the maintainer of the creation, and yet unbound by the conditions of the creation or the nature of the creation. And then we can start to understand his pastimes. First we understand the person Krishna, then we understand his pastimes. So Harinam Chintamani, all acharyas have explained in this age, we hear about Krishna, Shravanam, from Bhagavad Gita, from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we discuss Kirtan, Krishna, and then we will realize Krishna, the person, and then we can understand his Leela, his activities. As it is stated, Harinam Chintamani, first we understand the name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. That means when we're chanting, we realize that Krishna is present. Krishna will be present according to our devotion. Krishna is attracted by devotion. This is transcendental knowledge, but Vedesha Dolamam Adolamam Atma Bhakto. So that is in the Brahma Samhita, that you can study all the Vedas, but if you want to realize the import of the Vedas, which is Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, you have to practice Bhakti by taking shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. In the Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami gives 64 items of devotional service. The first 3 is to approach a spiritual master, take initiation from him, number 2, and then follow his instructions. So by following the instructions of the spiritual master, the bona fide guru, one becomes the servant of the spiritual master. And with that service attitude, that is the basis of bhakti. So in the material world we're always serving our own bodily concoctions and mental ideas and bodily desires. But when we serve the bona fide spiritual master, we are starting to serve a transcendentally situated person. Therefore it says in different ways, Mahat Sevam Dvara Maho Vimuktesh. Who is the Mahatma? The Guru is Jnaninas Tattvadashina, somebody who is realized and has vision of the absolute truth. Somebody who is Brahmanishta, as it is in the Mandaka Upanishad. Who is Guru? 2 words. Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. Shrotriyam means if he's going to act as a spiritual master, then he should know the conclusion of the Vedas. He should know the Shruti and the Smriti. He should be expert in Shastric conclusion, because he will be required to answer the questions of his Shishya, his disciples. So he should be learned, Shrotriyam. But many people can be superficially learned in the Shastra, but the second word is Brahmanishta. The Guru, bona fide Guru, is transcendentally situated. He's Nishta. He's fixed in transcendence, which means his consciousness is unified, mixed with Krishna. So he's transcendently situated by virtue of his consciousness. And one becomes transcendently situated by bhakti. So bona fide guru, he can answer the questions of the disciples from the transcendental realized platform. So if the disciple follows the instructions, pariprashnena sevaya, inquires from the bona fide sadhu, like Parikshit Maharaj, like so many examples in the Bhagavatam, following the instructions of Sukadev Goswami, transcendentally situated, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, all the great acharyas. If the disciple follows their instructions, this is seva, right? The servant follows the orders of the master. So we may not know Krishna. Initially we have some idea, of course, but by serving the spiritual master, we develop our service to Krishna. Then we can realize Krishna. So the first edition of that in this age is recommended chanting Nam. We should chant with that devotion. I don't have devotion to the name. Okay, you have devotion to the order of the spiritual master to chant the name. Then you're chanting with devotion, with seva bhav. So Prabhupada has given 16 rounds minimum. Then through your devotion, you will be able to realize that Krishna and the name are non-different. Then you will automatically, but you can practice rupa, meditation on the form of Krishna. When you chant, you will naturally think of Krishna, and then you'll naturally see the form of Krishna. So you should hold the form of Krishna, Radha Krishna, within the heart. Then the qualities of Krishna. So we can study those as well as remember them. In the Nectar of Devotion, the qualities of Krishna are there. Rupa Goswami has given those. So then we realize the quality of Krishna, and then the Leela of Krishna. So Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Leela means Sangha is included in Leela. Sangha means the associates of Krishna, because Krishna is having Leela with his devotees in the transcendental world. And we see here, he appears in the material world also. So these are the Leela of Krishna. So when we've understood Krishna, when we're realizing Krishna, then we can understand his pastimes. And then the next stage is, as we realize Krishna, we will become attracted to Krishna. So we practice Vidimarg, rules and regulations, and we purify the consciousness, Chaitadapana Marjanam, and then we realize Krishna. We develop in a personal way, direct, through that devotional following of the bona fide guru. And then realizing Krishna means that we become attracted to Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. So the more you realize Krishna in the real sense, in the transcendental sense, the more you will become attracted. So that means rag. But that attraction will take a fledgling or beginning mood of attraction. So as you realize Krishna and you're realizing his pastimes, then you will realize a certain attraction to Krishna. First it may be in a general sense, Vasudeva Krishna, Krishna the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Ishvaro, the Supreme Controller, Savaloka Maheshwaram. But as we realize Vrajanandan Krishna, then that is called Raganuga Bhakti. The devotee develops attraction to a mood of attraction. So that is in 5 basic divisions: Shantaras, neutrality, Dasya Bhav, mood of servant towards Krishna, and the leaders in that are Praktakshitrak. So many servants of Krishna are there in the Leela Shastra. Then Sakya Bhav, fraternal, Madhumangal, Sridham, even Balaram is in fraternal ras. And so many, so some people, as their devotion, as their soul wakes up, will be attracted in that particular way. And then Vatsalya Bhav, people will become attracted in Vatsalya Bhav, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Sunanda, so on and so forth. And then Madhurya Bhav. So Madhurya Bhav means conjugal ras, exemplified by Srimati Radharani. So Raganuga Bhakti means Dharmasya Nihitam Guhaya. Yes. Mahajayena Kaswa. You follow in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavan. So that's how you enter into the Leela of Krishna, by following a genuinely awakening attraction in one of the basic 4 bhavas, because that is inbuilt to the soul. Everyone has a particular relationship. So the leaders of the particular moods of attraction, they're called Rag Atmika devotees. And they are the leaders of those particular categories or moods of devotion. So Srimati Radharani, Mother Yashoda, Vatsalya Bhav, Nanda Maharaj, Vatsalya Bhav, Sridham, Baladev, friendship, they all have particular leaders of those moods. So the devotee whose attraction to Krishna and mood of attraction to Vrajanandan Krishna takes shelter of those devotees. In the beginning, we take shelter of the spiritual master as instructing us in Sambandha Gyan. So that was the mission of Sanatana Goswami. He gave Hari Bhakti Vilas, so many rules and regulations of Vidimarg. Then Rupa Goswami is the Acharya of Abhideya. His mission is to explain. So in Ujjvala Nilamani, also Jiva Goswami, there's explaining Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. And we were explaining about Pancharatriki Vidhi, that the first is purity, then gathering articles for worship, then Bhuta Shuddhi Yoga, meditating, I'm not the body, then the worship itself. And the 5th of Panchanga Bhakti is, it is called Swadhyaya. It means one's own particular meditations of chanting and developing a specific mood of attraction. So this is actually sadhana bhakti. This is not bhava bhakti or prema bhakti, but this is the way to develop bhava bhakti. By the soul wakes up from Vidimarg and Raganuga practice, and the realization and one's relationship with Krishna develops, and that takes one into the spiritual world. So we should understand that. First we understand Krishna, Supreme Lord, source of everything, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, the maintainer. What is that verse? matak parataram nanyad kinchidasti janadaya, that there is nothing beyond me, there is no principle beyond me. Everything is that you see is resting upon me, just like pearls are strung upon a thread. So we understand Krishna as Bhagavan, the Supreme Person, the Source. Just like Lord Brahma says, Anadir Adir Govinda. So he's the source of everyone. But Govinda, he's giving pleasure to the creation. Because Krishna his creation is not just a wide display of energy, it is also full of rasa, right? And understanding the Supreme Lord in the Das Mula, 3 basic mulas or root understandings of the Supreme Lord are Ishvaro, he's controller, Hari Ishvara, Hari. Ha means he has energy, Srimati Radharani, he's the source of that energy, and he is the controller, Hari Ishvara, basic number 1. He is the Ishvara because he is the source, the creator. Just like I paint a painting. So I am the source of the painting and I control the conditions of the painting. I'm not controlled by the painting, I'm the controller. I'm the Ishvara of the painting. So Krishna is the Ishvara of the creation. He's created all the principles within it. So second mula for understanding Krishna is Sava Shakti, Achincha Shakti. He's possessed of Achincha Shakti. Achincha means beyond material calculation. His energy is beyond the limited calculations of the conditioned soul. In the material world, we study mathematics, physics, chemistry, logic, language, philosophy, and these are all limiting factors. But Krishna is not bound by these limiting factors. So we may read the Bhagavad Gita, or we may be full of Marxist ideas or social ideas, and then we look, what? Krishna's unborn, but he has a Janmashtami too. How is this? This is not logical. Huh? Krishna is the creator, but he's not diminished by an unlimited creation. Huh? But he should be giving out energy, so he should be losing a certain status by creating. No, Krishna is beyond that. That is Achincha. So that is the realization of Krishna personally, his swarup, his nature, his guna, his quality. When that is realized by the sadhaka, and it is realized directly, then he starts to understand Achincha. The philosophy is Achincha Beda Bed. Just like this is reference to Krishna's Achincha quality. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, right? Our body now, we are conditioned to think, I look in the mirror every morning and I think, that wrinkle wasn't there last week. So the body is aging, deteriorating and changing. So here Krishna is saying, I have a transcendental body and I have a transcendental leela, and I manifest my spiritual Atma Maya out of my mercy. I manifest this in the material world by my own energy. And I manifest also the Jiva Shakti just by my will, by transforming my energy. I manifest the Pradhan as Mahavishnu. I manifest everything just out of my Icha Shakti. Icha means by my desire. And my Kriya Shakti. I do everything. And yet I am not diminished in any way. And even though I have this transcendental, spiritual, completely spiritual body, Atma Maya, out of my mercy, I manifest upon earth and at Kurukshetra, in Dwarka, I manifest this spiritual body in front of the materially conditioned souls. How? By my desire. Whatever Krishna desires, this is a Chincha Shakti. Whatever Krishna desires comes into being. This is Ananta Shakti. This is unlimited nature of Krishna. We are looking at the universe, the material scientists, not you, and we're thinking everything should be calculated according to the mathematics of physics and chemistry and biology. And we're thinking that mathematics, everything is subject to mathematical calculation, inquiry. But Krishna says, no, I am Sutri Mani, Proktam Sutri Mani Gana. I am threaded. My desires is the ultimate principle. And my unlimited Shakti, which is Achintya Shakti, unlimited in power and unlimited in variety, that is the principle that is manifesting the universe. So that is the second mula. First is Ishvaro, Hari Ishvara. Krishna is the supreme controller. Second principle is that he is possessed of Achintya Shakti, which is beyond the material calculation. So we have to understand Krishna by material, not by material calculation, but by Spuryada, Swayam Eva Spurti. Krishna reveals himself, just like at the beginning of this chapter, Krishna says, because you're my friend, Shaka Eti, because you're my devotee, I'm revealing, I'm telling you this, and I'm giving you the understanding. I'm within the heart, I'm within your consciousness, I'm giving you the understanding. So Krishna reveals himself to his devotee, his Atmamayaya, by his mercy. So Krishna can reveal himself as the Supreme, as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, as a chariot driver on the thing, all in accordance with the particular soul's vision. So we have heard from Acharya that when Krishna had his Leela 5,000 years ago on this Bharatvash, that only about 300 or so people understood he was Supreme Lord. Even the Brajabasis, you can say, they're not concerned. Is Krishna God or not? I don't know if he's God or not, but he's our local beloved. He's our local hero. Some people say he's God and Lord Brahma is paying obeisances and he's lifting Govardhan hill and he's coming out of the prison house of Kamsa and he's killing Putana and he's doing all these things. But I think he's just the son of Nanda Maharaj. And he was lifting Govardhan hill. But I know he had help from the cowherd boys because they were also putting their sticks and holding the thing. If they weren't helping Krishna, he wouldn't be able to do it. So that of course is Goloka Bhav. That is Madhurya Bhav. They don't think Krishna is God, and that is more attractive to Krishna. So that is the Achintya Shakti of Krishna. He's not just present in Goloka, but he's present here in Gokul, manifesting within the material energy. His original spiritual form, he's manifesting to all the people on the millions of soldiers and to the gopis and everyone and to Duryodhana and even to Kamsa. And he's manifesting and they're all seeing him in their particular way. What is the sloka that comes? Yeyatam mam prapadyante. All of them as they reciprocate or as they see me, I reciprocate accordingly. Of course, to the gopis, the most beautiful, handsome, beloved Krishna. Now the mother Yashoda, he's the darling child. Huh? So that is the achintya shakti in play, that he is reciprocating and he is enjoying that reciprocation. So that comes to the third mula, which is raso by saha, that he is the source of all rasa. Rasa means mellow, and they're the mellows of servitude, neutrality. The rasa means taste, or taste within the consciousness. The mellow of friendship, parental mood, conjugal mood. And then there are secondary rasas, laughter, astonishment, chivalry, compassion, anger, dread, ghastliness. And then there are, Rupa Goswami explains, 33 sanchari bhavs, and they mix these rasas in the Leela. They blend them, just like you cook something, you blend dhania with turmeric, with lal mirch, you mix, and all the rasas blend. This is the bhakti rasam, this is bhakti rasamrita sindhu of Krishna Leela. So Krishna is Govinda, and Adya, he's Ishwara, Lord Brahma says, and then he says, Anadya, he's the source through his achintya shakti of all entities, and then he's giving Govinda, he's giving rasa to the whole creation. Just like when you look at the sunset, the scientists may think, according to the angle of the sun and the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, then these colors are coming out, orange, yellow, red, and so on. But the poet looks at the sunset and he thinks, oh, look at the beauty. He's feeling the rasa. So this creation is a display of energy, but in the most subtle sense, it's a matter of rasa. Just like we listen to music. So it's vibration of this note, that note, but it is also rasa, the combination of the notes. One makes us martial, dum da dum da dum, and then we listen to music that makes us dreamy and so on. So that is rasa. So the creation is resting upon Krishna, like pearls are strung upon thread, but it is a manifestation of achintya shakti, but it's full of rasa also. It is full of mellow taste. So that is rasa vaisaha. He is Namani Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. The holy name is also Rasa Vigraha. So this is Krishna. He is having all these things. And he is Sava Karana Karanam. Everything is resting upon him. So these are the basic, just like we have in the Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Parayagya, Vasudeva Vasudeva is everything. When you realize Krishna Vasudeva Savam Iti, Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. So now Janmashtami is coming, we should understand it. He manifesting by his inconceivable potency. So I was just reading a couple of weeks ago the commentary Vishwanath Chakravarti on the 10th canto, and he was explaining there that Krishna, of course, the 7th pregnancy of Devaki was Baladev, was transferred. It was apparently transferred by Yogamaya to Vrindavan, to Rohini. And then, but that was apparently a miscarriage or something by Yoga. Then Krishna, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that Vasudev Krishna, Vasudev, son of Vasudev, was born at the same time that Mother Yashoda gave birth to Vrajanandan Krishna in Vraj at the same time. And then Yogamaya was born afterward. So it's explaining there, and there's quotes from the Harivamsa and different Gautamiya Tantra in the purports. Vishwanath is quoting and is explaining. So when Vasudeva took Krishna through Yogamaya, the prison was open, then Krishna was taken. But this was Vasudeva Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna was taken to Vrindavan. There he united with Vrajanandan Krishna, Yasomati Nandan Krishna, Vraja Krishna. They united there. And then Vasudeva took the younger sister, the younger birth, the later birth, that is Yogamaya, Subhadra. Took Yogamaya, Subhadra, Durga Devi to Mathura. Then Kamsa, very nice person, came along and he, oh, what is this? It's supposed to be a son, and then I'll kill it anyway. But then Yogamaya rose up. Kamsa, you're such a fool. The person who will kill you is already born elsewhere. So, he was in a bit of anxiety. All his planning and everything, Hiranyakashipu and all these people, they think they can conquer. But Krishna, he has Achintya Shakti. So then Yogamaya appeared and manifested throughout many places, and she's been worshipped accordingly. And said, no, the person you are trying to kill is born somewhere else. So Kamsa was completely shocked. And he actually wanted to give up the idea of killing, but his ministers said no. You know, he took consultation. He apologized to Vasudeva and Devaki. Why am I... But then his ministers re-advised him. Said, look, Kamsa, if you don't deal with this, then you'll be finished. Of course, they're thinking, if Kamsa goes, I'll go also. I'll be killed. So they're encouraging Kamsa. You know, if the king goes, his minister goes also. So they want Kamsa to, hey, get back into your murder mood. But so then he sent Putana, and so many leelas. So Putana represents what? The false guru, but it also means material affection. Just like Sukadeva Goswami, he didn't want any material affection. He left, even his father was Veda Vyasdev. Just like Gokishore Das Babaji, Shakshat Vairagya Murteye. Just like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, he chanted 1 billion names in Mayapur before he started the Gaudiya mission. So these are the Acharya, these are the empowered. And so this power is coming from the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is giving to all the devotees. And he is enjoying Leela with his devotees in this world. Atma Mayaya. And the devotees, they have the greatest realization because Vedesha Dulamam Adulamam Atma Bhakto. Yes, what is that? Vaitam Achutim Anadim Ananta Rupam Adyam, no birth, Adyama Parana. Vedesha Dulamam Adulamam Atma Bhakto. So the devotee realizes the Supreme Lord, even though these Leelas is manifesting in the material world, lifting Govardhan Hill, killing Kamsa, killing Putana, charming, performing Ras Leela, expanding into many forms to dance the Ras Leela. The devotee realizes this, and he realizes the truth of this by the grace of the spiritual master, Lord Chaitanya and Krishna himself. He realizes that within his heart. Even though these things are achintya, they're born out of Atma Maya, the inconceivable potency. But the devotee realizes this is the absolute truth. And then he realizes, yeah, this is the absolute truth. And of course, the absolute truth is not bound by the limited functions, the limited experience of this material world. The absolute truth is, I have got this body and someday it'll be finished. But why should the Supreme Lords have a long beard? No, he decides to stay a young man as Prabhupada. He decides to perform these inconceivable pastimes out, and that is the meaning of Leela. Leela. Just pastimes. Why? Because they are a way to interact with his beloved devotees. And he loves to reveal himself. Just like we're saying, first we understand Krishna, then we understand his Leela, and then we understand Rag, Bhakti, how to develop our attachment and realization of Krishna through developing our particular mood by following the residents of Vrindavan. Yes, we do that, and we realize Krishna directly and personally. And that is why Krishna consciousness, Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, he spoke this book, it's still as relevant today as it was 5,000 years ago. And we see here, Arjuna at one point says, you instructed the sun god, but he is prior to you. Huh? I instructed this imperishable science to Vivaswan. But Vivaswan is appearing at the start of the universe. How could you instruct him? You just appeared a few hundred years ago. Actually, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, I have heard that Krishna was about 100 years old, right? That his Leela was 125 years, I believe. So he was 100 years old. He didn't have a long beard. He was quite vigorous, driving the chariot. He had no problem. So how are you instruct? No, that's my Leela. I'm appearing at this time in this form, in this. I'm appearing as Mahavishnu, as Garbhadaksha, Vishnu Shiradaksha, the Chaturvyuha, as the Gun avatars, the Leela avatars. So this is understanding the pastimes of Krishna based on realizing that Krishna is Ishvara, possessed of Achintya Shakti, and his creation is full of rasa. And the whole purpose of creation, that is there in the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is explained there that Radha and Krishna are one. That means the energy of Krishna and Krishna, the energetic source, are one. But to enjoy the bliss of pastimes, they have separated themselves eternally. And they are interacting in this way, Krishna and Radha, Krishna and his energy, his Swarup Shakti, and all the living entities that he's created, the Vibhinangsa, the Jiva Shakti, all these are in this great reciprocation with Krishna. Yeyatam mam prapanchante. And what is the purpose? To enjoy the bliss of pastimes. Devotion, loving pastimes. So, can you think of a better reason to have a creation? Just to enjoy the bliss of love. Prem, Bhav. That is the purpose. That is the purpose of this variety, of this rasa. So the jiva has its constitutional nature. He can melt, or not melt, but enter this Leela of Krishna eternally through sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi Vidhi Marg, Rag Marg, then Bhava Bhakti, Prem Bhava. And this is all done under the supervision of Krishna, then the supervision of Gaur-Nitai. And that is the whole reason, the whole creation, to enjoy bliss. So that simple idea is in itself a great realization, right? In the material world, everyone is trying to be dominant or controller, but actually they are doing it in separation from Krishna, so they never succeed to get any rasa. So this is the whole creation, to enjoy. And the devotees, Rishikena, Rishikesha, in the natural state, they give pleasure to Krishna. Rishikena, Rishikesha. And Krishna, Govinda, gives pleasure to his devotees. So that's what the spiritual platform is. It's an exchange of rasa, which is unlimitedly pleasurable, so that everyone just dances in ecstasy and chants Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai. Shri Krishna Sadhu Sangha Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Thank you very much for your kind attention.